Hello everyone and welcome to episode 10 of Ctrl Alt Refuel, joined by Gareth from his garage and Chris from his marital home. And
still living in his car.
Yes, still living in his car. We're going to have a quick look through the news in this episode. So we correctly predicted what the Chancellor was going to do, and we failed to come to an agreement as to whether it was a good thing, and we still don't agree, do we, Chris?
Well, the difference between me and you is I've got no loyalty towards any party, and you're a Labour Party member.
I am, yes.
Yeah, so it's like we're never going to agree on it because you're so loyal. You joined a membership like a cult. I just don't have any faith in any of them. But
I wouldn't necessarily describe it in those terms, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you like them so much that you've drunk the Kool-Aid or whatever it is, you know.
But do you like old Labour rather than new Labour or new Labour?
That's a very good question. I
bet
you joined when it was old Labour, didn't it?
No. I actually joined in the last few months.
So that explains why, in the last video, our disagreement about the £22 billion black hole, where you edited it, and that explains why, because you're one of them, and I said no, it's a load of bollocks, and then you went, no, I'll delete that bit. Turns out I was right. Really. You know,
will he keep that bit in though?
No, he won't. I love Labour; they're amazing. He'll keep that bit in.
I think they're all pretty much hopeless. But it's a very difficult task, isn't it?
But sometimes your upbringing informs where you are, isn't it? And particularly the case with Chris, isn't it?
And that's one of the except for I voted for Andy Burnham once, who's the Greater Manchester mayor, and I live on the edge of Greater Manchester, so I come under his jurisdiction. But with the exception of that, I've never voted for Labour and never will. And that's nothing against Labour. That's just because of my mother. She told me that we live in a working class area, and Labour are for poor people and Conservative are for businesses, and we need to vote for Labour because of who we are and where we were born. And I completely disagree with being labelled and put in a box by anybody, so I've never voted Labour. So I'm a bit of an arsehole like that.
But interestingly, my wife always votes Tory because her grandparents always voted Tory, and there's no other reason for it. I tried in the past to have a conversation. I just get exasperated and that, I turn into a row, so I just don't bother. But yeah, she will, no matter how she slags them off all year, and then she'll go and vote Tory again. You know what I'm saying? I'm not politically affiliated at all. I think they're all fucking hopeless personally. But
I don't mind admitting it, but I've voted for, although I am now a Labour Party member. I have my MP is a Liberal, but I voted for a number of different parties in my voting career. None of the awful ones, but most of the mainstream parties. I think I've even
you are BNP all day. You
might have voted Green at one point. I think.
What have I voted? I voted Lib Dem, Nick Clegg. I voted David Cameron. I didn't do Brexit. I wasn't bothered. I didn't care. But then after every one of them, it was only Conservatives that say they'd stick with a Brexit vote. And I think that we should have stuck with that. So I voted for them. Then I voted Brexit Party because then they were like, well, we'll stick to the original vote rather than changing it. And then after that, all that, everything happened, what everyone knows. And then I haven't voted since. So I've only voted about 6-7 times, if that. I was too young for Tony Blair. Wasn't bothered. The first person I ever voted for was Nick Clegg. And that was Liberal Democrats. And the only reason I voted for him is I watched one TV show once on ITV, and Gordon Brown. Is it Gordon Brown? No, David Cameron and Gordon Brown were there arguing between themselves and blah, 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 talking over each other. And Nick Clegg basically stood there saying, that's what you get all the time. Just them talking over each other, shouting at each other. and that's all we do. And I sat there and I thought, I like him. So I voted for him. And then turns out he screwed over all the university students. So I was like, well, But anyway, back to the car thing. So we're not going to agree on the fuel duty because where I live in a town called Haywood, which is near Rochdale, and I was raised in not on the poverty line, but not in good conditions. And I always remember how hard my mother worked and how hard she had to work just to pay the bills. And in Haywood, we have a thing. What we all say is Haywood wages. It's not the average wage; it's Haywood wages, and it's for people what can't get on the bus because we've got rubbish public transport, and we don't pay high wages around here because people are trapped. So this fuel duty really gets on my goat. Because Labour pretend that they're for working people and people on lower budgets, and battery electric vehicles, especially the second-hand market, are now so cheap. People on a lower income have the ability to get them and go further afield to earn more wages, and they've put another barrier in front of them, and I think it's outrageous. It's there's people out there what have a high sex drive and have 48 kids and they get more money that way. Fantastic, you go for it. Just put some Velcro in between your thighs and just stop when you hear the rip. Fine. But there's another way of doing it, isn't there? There's people going out who are proud to work, proud to earn what they have, and just like me, you, and you, they want to earn what they've got. And they had the opportunity to get a cheap car and go further out and get closer to Leeds, Liverpool, or Manchester, earn higher wages, get out of Haywood, stop getting Haywood wages, and then Labour's come in and put another thing on, and it's just another barrier. And it's just, like I said, I don't have any kind of loyalty to any party, but I just think Labour are hypocrites, and it makes me angry because it just makes me remember how hard my mother had to struggle raising us because she was getting paid Haywood wages. And if she had any kind of opportunity to earn more, she would have done. But Labour sit there pretending that they're there for the poor people, and they're not. We're just Tories in red ties, but we're just doing it a different way.
What do you think the Tories would have done had they still been in power now?
Oh God, I'm so glad they're not in power. You know what I mean? It's like they screwed up the biggest opportunity, and I'm talking purely as a northerner here, as someone who lives near Manchester. Boris Johnson is the only one what mentioned Manchester to anybody. He didn't think London. He knew of a distant, faraway, magical place called Manchester, and people can go there, and it's got hills and greenery. And suddenly we have loads of southerners moving up here. And then he turned out to be a lying bastard and trying to get all his mates in. And then he got voted out. I was like, fucking hell. One guy who actually spoke about the North like it was an actual place. And then he turned out to be a lying bastard and got voted out. So I don't even have hope for Tories. I don't even like Kemi Bedwinock, but when she rinsed the Chancellor last week, that was ace. She did a really good job of that. But it's like I wouldn't even know who to vote for now because I just don't have faith in any of them. I'm certainly not voting, not Brexit Party. Who's that? Farage and his lot. I'm certainly not voting them. If they get in, I'm moving out of the country. Simple as that. Labour, they just want to give money to top shaggers. Tories don't have a fucking clue what they're doing. And Greens, they'll never get in power. And who else is there? That's it. Monster Raving Looney Party. Just get them in. That as well.
Well done, Chris. That's that cleared up. Yes.
So, it's hard to disagree. I mean, any party's got a difficult job, haven't they? Someone's going to be pissed off with what they do. But Labour seems to be pissing off everybody, don't they? At the minute, are they just getting all out of the way, or is there more to come?
Well, as a Labour Party member, are you happy with what they're doing? And how much do you pay? Or is that secret?
I can't remember. No, it's not a secret, but I can't recall the figure. It's a monthly thing. I've got
like £50 a month.
No, God, no, it's much less than that.
£49.99.
The answer to your question, am I happy? Broadly speaking, yes. I don't agree with the implementation of this paper mile tax. I think it's too early. I think it should have been left to the next decade, because it's endangering EV take up, and we really need that.
Well, I think it's all too soon and, like you say, too confusing for the average person. That's another reason why they're not going to want to get into an EV if they don't know about them. They just see all this confusion and complexity.
Okay, yes,
you know, the fact that they're paying 50 odd p per litre themselves in the fuel duty, they're desensitized to it. They don't, it's just something that's already incorporated, and it's in natural life, isn't it? You just buy your fuel at the pump and all that tax and VAT is included, but they don't see it. But they hear this headline, 3p per mile on EVs, and it's another complication, another reason not to do it.
I still think that the momentum is there, and I don't think that this is going to discourage many people from taking up the BEV cause and doing away with their internal combustion engine vehicles. I'm not too worried about it. I know that for some people, the increase of 3 pence per mile isn't going to have a great deal effect on the personal economics of running these vehicles. And it may for some, those who use a lot of rapid chargers. But yes, I wish it hadn't happened, but I also don't think it's going to have a big effect on the momentum of this change to electric vehicles.
I think it will slow it down quite a lot, as in where it could have been if they hadn't done this.
I don't think it will.
I think it's retarded it a bit, but yeah, we'd have to see. I mean, hopefully the technology just proves that on its own, doesn't it? We all drive them because we like them, because they're simply better cars. But yeah, it's just another complexity.
Yes, should we move on? Yes, news in from the Blue Oval. Two things of interest. First of all, the Focus is discontinued. Now, I've driven one, never owned one. I'm assuming you've had a few through the business. So it's an important car, even if it's one that is no longer in our lexicon. Personally, I'm still struggling from the discontinuation of the Escort, and now I'm struggling with and now I'm a little bit sad that the Escort successor has gone the same way. Any Ford Focus experiences with you two guys?
Yeah, hundreds of bloody things.
Yeah.
I always remember the one Ford Focus. I'd always, whenever I got into it, I'd bash my right shin on the lower part of the dashboard. There's like it's called a sticky out edge curve on the lower part of the dashboard. I'd get in it and I'd bash my right shin every single time. So whenever I see one, I sort of cringe now.
They drove pretty well, didn't they? They had a relatively well sorted.
Focus is a great car.
The Z-Tex, they
hardly had any of them back for anything.
I've always thought that they had a relatively well sorted suspension and steering gear. I thought they were pretty good. 16 million of those have been sold. It depends on who you ask, between 12 and 16, but it's a shitload of cars either way. And reports are that the battery electric vehicle that's going to replace it is going to be called, drumroll, the Bronco.
Fuck off.
I know. So we didn't really get Bronco in this country, did we? It's an American.
Bronco Sports are cheap, isn't it? I can't see them replacing them with a Focus.
It's a small pickup in the US, and there are reports that the replacement for the Focus is going to be called the Bronco. I know. He's furious. Look, never mind Rachel Reeves. So, this is driving him mental. Look,
the American president said recently that no one buys American vehicles, right? We do, Fords, because Fords have been brilliant at catering the cars for each market. So we get things like the Fiesta, the Focus, and all that kind of stuff, the Mondeo, all these things. And they've been brilliant at it. And what's Ford doing now? Trashing all of the European cars, what we love, coming back with shit SUVs and calling them things like the Capri, the Bronco, all the American shit. It's like, but they're not going to sell. So they're getting rid of things like the Escort, the Sierra, the the Focus, the you know what I mean?
You say that the Mustang, the EV Mustang, is selling quite well, and
but it's not a Mustang. Why?
Who cares? Yeah. Who cares?
Me?
No,
me.
Yeah, but you're caring for the wrong reason, Chris. We have established, and one of the few things that the three of us agree on is that nostalgia is a terrible, bad thing.
It's a dangerous thing.
And you're suffering from Ford brand nostalgia. You are.
But I don't know, maybe. But there's so many other words in the world. You know what I mean? Why do that? Why not have that in nostalgia, and everyone can look back and go, "No, yeah, bloody hell, look at the whatever." There's so many other words. Call it the Ford elbow. Call it anything you want. Why mess around with old models? What people? I mean, it looks nothing like it. The Puma looks nothing like it's just stop it.
But do you remember when the Cougar came out?
Which one? The original coupe?
The Cougar of the early 2000s.
Yeah,
Alan Partridge. You drove one before his Lexus, didn't
horrible car.
And there was outrage about what the hell is this car, Cougar? What does that mean? And then we sort of all get used to it, don't we? But I'm with Chris here. Bringing back the name of the Capri for such a SUV blob is just terrible. I don't understand why they've done it. I know why they've done it because it will attract attention. You know, it's any form of attention, isn't it?
Exactly. They did it because they want to annoy three random tired blokes on a podcast who are going to do their marketing for them, and you two have fallen for it.
But we seem to all be on the same path.
I would buy one with their stupid TV. I'm obviously not their target audience. You know, I'd want to put one day badges on the junk.
No, I agree.
If it was me,
I've sat in an EV Capri at Everything Electric. I think it was last year, 24 Everything Electric in the.
It's all right.
Capri. It's all right.
It's all right.
It is. The cabin's really nicely put together, even though it was a pre-production car. The build quality looked really very good. You know, Ford know how to do these things. They're pretty good at it. Perhaps their nameplate changing is a bit suspect. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, again, it's an ID platform underneath in a Volkswagen ID in a Ford dress. But if you're going to put a Ford dress on it, you know, why piss off people that don't want to see the Capri name put on it? Why not use Mondeo or Sierra or Cortina or even Cougar? I don't understand.
Don't forget, there's two different Cougars. There is the
Cougar.
There's the Cougar and the Cougar. The Puma, the 2025, has sold out, and we know why. We discussed it a couple of episodes ago because they were absolutely spunking them out the door at really, really crazy prices, and people bought them all up, including your son. They've sold the entire inventory of these cars.
Yeah, they're bringing forward the 2026 model. There
is the 2026 model, which luckily enough they have the capacity to bring it forward, and they've got the manufacturing ability to bring that forward and bring it onto sale. But the order books are closed now, as I understand it. But they will start selling the 2026 Puma quite soon, because basically the 25 sold out.
Well, I'm a bit worried about the news for EV because it's not a ground up architecture car, and if you look on the forums for the people that have bought these early cars, it's swamped with little issues.
Oh, I hadn't seen them. Okay.
That will put people off. Don't get me wrong, a big percentage is user error and dealers not explaining things to the customers, but yeah, there's lots of other little issues and stuff. But yeah, the Fiesta was stopped, wasn't it? Because they don't want to make cars that size anymore. They can't make cars that size anymore.
But is that because of EU safety stuff? Why we can't do that anymore?
Safety stuff and just what the public want. I mean, the petrol hybrid Puma is Britain's best-selling car, isn't it? Has been for many years. You know, that's what people are choosing and buying. But to take away the Fiesta, you can sort of understand until Volkswagen bring out their ID2, which Ford will no doubt just stick a Ford badge on and call it Fiesta or something again, I imagine.
Well, I did read that VW are going to, this will please Chris, because they're going back to using proper names. And the ID2 is going to be known as the Polo, and the ID3 is going to be known as the Golf. Yeah, I agree. Although I don't care about names, and I don't really care about VWs either, and particularly the shonky platform that's underneath them. But
is it just Nissan you like?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, it's curious.
I'm fond of a Ford. I'm fond of a Honda. No, I'm not a big fan of any German car, to be honest.
See, I'm not. I've never been really a big fan of Ford. They've always sort of, to me, sort of missed the boat slightly. You know, I've never hankered after one myself. All the ones I've had, like the Escorts of the '90s and stuff, they were bloody dreadful things.
Really?
You know, Sierra was awful.
But the thing is, you say they were dreadful, yet they sold by the bucket load. The Mark 3s and the Mark 4s.
Yeah, I'd much rather have a Vauxhall or something at the time.
Oh no, I couldn't.
Swear jar alert! Swear jar alert! Swear jar alert!
We haven't mentioned the T word, have we? Yeah, today.
Yeah, swear jar alert. The Ford Focus and the Ford Sierra of the day is today's.
No problem with the Ford Focus, but just not something I've ever wanted to own myself personally. But I've sold bucket loads of them, and they were good cars.
I don't think I ever aspired to own a Ford Focus. I owned a bunch of Escorts. They were my first cars, Mark 3s and Mark 4s, and.
The car?
Yes, Mark 3s and Mark 4 Escorts. Yeah, I've had.
Sorry. When you said you've owned a bunch of Escorts, I thought you was like giving us like a bit of your secret life. Sorry, you carry on. Sorry.
Pimp life.
There's, Ford have lost the plot recently anyway.
Yeah, but Ford are not interested in England and Europe, are they? Really?
No, not really.
They've just given us Volkswagens with a Ford badge. Apart from the Mach-E, which is a fairly decent car.
Ford are currently in the UK. Ford are being outsold by Kia. So yeah, that shows you how badly Ford have dropped the ball in this country, and whether they care about it, we don't know.
They're just not interested. Yeah,
I don't think so.
But I always bleat on about this. All the cars that we thought were good when we were kids, they're shite. You know, all the hassle I get from selling used cars is always German shit, and it's mostly often diesel German shit. You know, automatic diesel German shit. When we were kids. 70s, 80s, 90s, they were good, you know. And then Kia came along with a Kia Pride, didn't they? Which was what that was a Mazda, wasn't it, with a Kia badge, with a Kia Pride. And that was, when was that? 25 years ago or so. You know, they've come a long way, haven't they? Kia and Hyundai, they're what Volkswagen should be really now.
Started with a Kia Ceed, didn't it? The Kia Ceed, and then we brought out the Kia Pro Ceed.
Kia Pride was
like the sporty version. That's where my interest sparked.
Hyundai Sonata, then they started to get to be good cars, didn't they? You know, some of those bigger things. But everything changes. But Johnny Smith did his review of the Kia EV4. Did you guys see that?
I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah, and he mentioned the same thing I've just said. That you know, you look at Kia and Hyundai now as you used to look on Volkswagen for like a quality product that won't let you down, and it's fairly decent. You know. Decent performance, decent styling, decent warranties, and not going to break down on you. I think that's
like the level of detail what Johnny Smith goes into. I like, although I do have a lot of prattling about and all, but I like details. I don't like someone just coming up saying that car. Well, yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's all right. Yeah, it's all right. Oh, what this is
I can't open a door.
A boot shelf. Oh, just chuck the boot shelf over there. That's funny, isn't it? Yeah. Johnny Smith goes into a level of detail what I appreciate.
He's a normal, isn't he? You can have a drink with him.
He's another good one. Yeah, Tom Ford is good as well, and he's back on electrifying now. I think he's come off Top Gear magazine, but he's back on electrifying, doing videos. Tom Ford's very good as well. But they both come from the fifth gear days, don't they? So maybe it's that style what I like.
Yeah.
Gerry McGovern. Does the name ring any bells?
Jaguar Land Rover design.
Yeah. He worked. In fact, there's a rather neat segue. He worked for Ford in the 90s, and he's one of the world's top car designers. And JLR, by all reports, JLR yesterday, essentially escorted him from the premises. Very strange, and it appears to be that. There's been a change in leadership at Tata, which is JLR's parent company, and they've got rid of one of the world's preeminent car designers, Gerry McGovern, and they give him the tin tack, basically. He's I haven't prepared a list. The original MGF and the Mark 1 Freelander were all his, and most of the current Range Rovers. Born in Coventry in 56, and he worked for Chrysler, Peugeot, Volvo, Mazda, Ford in the 90s, Austin Rover in the 80s. A lot of the mid 80s from the Honda and the BMW era was penned by Gerry McGovern. And he's an OBE. He was made OBE in 2020. He's a serious guy, and for reasons that was unentirely clear, JLR just escorted him from the building. It's very strange.
I bet you had an argument with the wrong person.
It's entirely possible. He's a very senior guy. That's the weird thing.
Yeah, I think with Jaguars, they've just dug their own hole and then got a JCB in to dig it further for them, haven't they, over the last few years? It's just for me, we talked about this before, it's just a dead brand apart from them making a Defender. They still haven't released the electric Range Rover, have they? Which they almost did this year, and then they pulled back on it. So I don't know, maybe they're just thinking they want a complete different change of direction. I saw one post on X, which I don't know if this is true or not, and it probably isn't, but was that they want to put internal combustion engines in that Thunderbird's Jaguar.
Oh, the 00.
That big Thunderbird looking Lady Penelope car.
Oh, yeah.
Called. Yeah, there's some sort, but they want to put like V12s back in and stuff like that. So you can imagine the conversation there, couldn't you, if that's true? It's just not the future, is it? They're just digging that hole deeper. But who does Jaguar brand appeal to now? I'm separating it from the Land Rover side of things.
They're trying to align themselves with Bentley, whereas in previous decades they've been much closer to Rover and to Rover specifically, because
luxury sort of older person car.
Yeah, I think so. I think Rover always saw themselves as a little bit above the Ford and the Vauxhalls of the world, and Jaguar seemed to position themselves a little bit above that. And Jaguar's policy now appears to be to go even further up market.
Yeah, it's out of the realms of people, normal people, isn't it? The price of these cars that they're talking about and what they're like, just concept nonsense, as far as I'm concerned.
It seems to me that this is just yet another in a string of bonkers decisions by Tata and by Jaguar.
I can see them just spinning off that brand and selling it off to someone else.
Yeah.
They split the Land Rover and Jaguar a bit, and just not worry about it. But Chris, can you imagine sitting in that concept Jaguar in that street that you're in now, that great big long Lady Penelope car?
Oh, I'm on a main A
Imagine parking up in Bournemouth, it would get jumped on. Where else in the country?
I just think it's hideous, but it's like going back onto the Ford Jaguar thing, doing things for attention. I think we're doing it for attention, and we're not actually serious about it. And it's just a look at me stuff.
It's vaporware. The term is vaporware, isn't it? Just get people talking about what they might be doing.
Yeah.
You remember Audi when they brought out the TT in 1998? Quite revolutionary. People were excited, weren't they? It was a product that people liked and could aspire to, and it's a useful thing, wasn't it?
Are you a fan of the TT?
No. I hate German stuff. I always used to, but they've just cost me so much money over the years and warranty doom. I've got very little time for them. My wife had TTs. She's had 225 convertibles and stuff, but it's always going wrong.
I mean, the ones with big engines and four-wheel drive, that's
what she had. Yeah,
they're okay in their own way as sports cars or supercars, but it appears to me that the run-of-the-mill ones were deeply horrible.
It saved Volkswagen out, didn't it?
It
was a real success for them. And it was quite, when level hated, the design was sort of its time, wasn't it? And it was a useful looking thing. But yeah, Jaguar, I can just see it just fading away or getting spun off. Someone else will buy it.
So my sister lives in West London, and her and her husband used to run two cars, and they got rid of one of their cars because they use one of these car sharing schemes specifically Zipcar. Now, they were quite big in some of the larger cities in the UK. I think they were Oxford, Cambridge. I mean, you might say they are relatively well-off towns. Apparently, Avis is the parent company, the car hire company. And Zipcar, in the last few months, sort of they reduced their operations to be in London, where they've got 500,000 members. And just, start of December, yesterday is when we record this, Zipcar have said they're closing their operations by the end of December. So that is one of the big, really the last spot hire provider in the UK is walking away. They had a number of BEVs, again, supplied mostly through the Avis brand. I'd always thought that if they were ever to come to my little town in South Buckinghamshire, I don't think we're nearly big enough to support them, that we would perhaps consider losing one of our cars, particularly when my wife was working from home. It seemed that there was always one of our cars was on the drive, and there we thought, well, perhaps we don't need two cars. And having a spot car hire like Zipcar available may have been an option for us.
So presumably for lack of uptake.
Specifically, they blame fuel costs, and they quote both electric and internal combustion rising cost of fuel for both types of cars.
Do you have the we've got Beryl bikes in Bournemouth, in the Bournemouth and Poole collaboration? Yeah,
we've got Lime in London. Yeah.
Lime, is it the same? You got those, Chris?
I don't live close enough to a city for that. I think Liverpool, when I worked around Liverpool, we had Lime bikes. When I was in Tel Aviv in Israel, they had Lime bikes all over the place, and we used them all the time when we was on holiday, and we were brilliant. But the actual scooter bike things around Manchester, I mean, I rarely go to Manchester.
I use them a lot. It's really handy, but more handy than a car. It's cheaper as well. You just jump on, you can leave it anywhere, and it gets you about quicker than you can in a car. Especially electric scooters, you can really zip about and get to where you need to go.
The technology that they deployed with these vehicles, both the cars and the bikes, seem to be quite cool and quite easy to use. Once you're a member, you walk up to the thing with the app or with an RFID card, and you jump in or you jump on, and off you go. Yeah. So yeah, it's a shame.
It's easy, but I mean, I think a car's a little bit different, isn't it? You don't want to get into someone else's squalor that they've left the car, dirty and smelly, and I don't know. It's quite difficult to manage the fleet, wouldn't it? Whereas a scooter or a bike, it's sort of less personal, isn't it?
I take your point. Yeah. I mean,
you're still in the traffic.
My sister has used Zipcars in the past, and she said that they've always been a very pleasant experience. So yeah, she's gonna have to go somewhere else.
It's a cost, isn't it? All you need is a Citroen Ami or a Mitsubishi Enya. That's all you need is a second car.
You trying to sell it? I saw it.
Yeah, well, it's a price not to sell, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I must start answering emails to people like that. But it's so handy. I don't know, it's because it's small and nippy. You jump in it. I don't care where I leave it. I'm not worried about it getting scratched. It will fit in any spaces. Nothing to run. It's just perfect. And that's the thing. We're hung up on cars too much, aren't we? Being big and flashy. We don't. If we're honest with ourselves, we don't need big flashy cars.
I drove an Aria Nismo at the weekend.
Yeah,
that was big and flashy. It was an extremely impressive car. Don't tell Graham, but I think it's nicer than the performance, the Model Y performance. It's cheaper as well, not nearly as fast, but yeah, I had a great fun morning driving that Aria Nismo. Very special car.
How's the software?
Tony, don't tell Graham.
Tony's off member. So how's the software, Paul, on that?
It's fine.
Improved? Is it quick?
Yeah,
you saw the route that the guidance is good.
I didn't do a great deal with the software in this particular car because it's not a press car. The owner of the car was with me all morning, but from I've used Aria. I've reviewed Aria's 2. This is the third Aria that I've driven, and the software is really good. The facelift that's coming next year and the upcoming Leafer Micro, which we'll talk about in a future episode, which I also saw on the same day last weekend. They're all running Google software, and it's just absolute. It's just fine. It's
like the new Volkswagen stuff. My sister's got one. It's not Tesla good, but it's good. Oh, we've got the spare jar up.
Oh, there it goes. There we go. £5 in the jar.
Ding, 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 ding.
Sorry.
We 2 episodes. We didn't mention.
We're going to have to get some sponsors in to pay for all this. Oh, I nearly did it. Oh, that was close. Right, General, we've done the news. Thank you very much. Chris is disappearing out the bottom of his camera again.
Fucking thing. Yeah.
I thought he was going back in his chair, like he was going to sleep.
Right, let's bring this one into the Quayside, chaps. Thank you to Chris and Gareth.
Quayside.
Thank you.
What the fuck's a Quayside?
You do the closing address then.
Thank you very much for watching. Good night.
Ta-ra.
Oh, crikey.
Ta-ra.
Brilliant. Well done. Chris and Gareth, thank you for taking us through the news and for the EV and renewable sphere for this week. Everybody who's watching us on YouTube and Vimeo, please leave your comments down below. We will read and reply to everything. Everybody else who's now listening to this on podcasts, you can hear it on all your favourite podcast suppliers, Apple Podcasts, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Stop shaking your head. I'm doing this.
No one's listening on the podcast.
So if they could all like and subscribe, that'd be really good.
Again,
yes, to spread the word of Ctrl or Refuel across the amazing parts of the internet. Guys, thank you again. Thank you to all our watchers and listeners and viewers. We'll see you all for the next episode. Thanks a lot. Goodbye, everyone.
Cheers, guys.